Four teams will proceed. Welcome back to the studio segment of the ESL India Premiership, brought to you by Oman by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and presented by Norton Gaming. Now we're in the thick of things. When we say thick of things, I'm talking about the 5v5 MOBA here, talking about Dota 2 and G.
Yes, it's going to be Reckoning Infinity playing the Council from Bangladesh. Both these teams are faring pretty okay. They sit 8th and 9th on the board, not really been able to secure a lot of victories, but this could be a game-changing game for either of these teams.
Indeed, indeed. Let's start off with the first team in question here, Team Reckoning Infinity. Alrighty then, that's Team Reckoning Infinity. Now, since we already have the bandwidth to do so, let's quickly take a look at the council first. All right, that's the council and their competitors, Reckoning Infinity. Both of them need to start, how would I say, upping the ante when it comes to the viewers. They want some explosive action in Dota 2. Angie, what do you have to add on for both the teams?
I think today is going to be one of those days where the game does go on for about 45 minutes. They both are fantastic teams. We have the council who have your brothers who always play together. And we have Reckoning Infinity who have been playing together for quite a while and are hoping to see whether they continue on their winning spree as they have. One of the few heroes that they really like are the Lina, the Jukiro. So if they hope to go in that Lina and their bans and picks move in their favor, I think they'll do exceeding well for themselves.
Yeah, indeed, indeed, indeed. In fact, I'm going to be rooting for the council because I believe them to be the better team here. Knowing the fact that I'm going to be supporting my friends here. Peeps from council, what's up? Looking forward to meeting you once again. In fact, I've been informed by the production that the draft is live and AFK, our casters are going to be taking over the draft. So let's head over to them and see what's happening in the game.
All right, folks, welcome back to ESL India Premiership Summer Season Phase 1. We have the Council versus Reckoning Esports. My name is Floki. Joining me for this cast is Vivek. Vivek, he's gonna be incognito for a moment or two, or are you here, Vivek? I am not sure.
Okay,
Well,
so I was here, but my mic wasn't working. My bad. My bad. We're trying something new. But everything should be smooth sailing from here on. Do let me know if my mic is a bit off. But we got the draft underway in the council.
yep, the Council versus Reckoning Esports. They do go for the Razor in the first phase itself. They have the Gyrocopter though, the Reckoning Esports, so they have the answer for this Razor. I do presume it's gonna be a mid Gyro, and we're gonna probably see the Razor going mid as well, unless there's a better matchup for him elsewhere, maybe in the off lane or in the safe lane. For now, the Reckoning Esports, they've played the cards well. They've picked up the Sand King, who deals moderately well against the Razor. I mean, you have Burris try to sort of disjoint the static link, and you have the Gyrocopter to deal a bunch of magical damage early on if he does steal your physical damage.
Yeah. I mean, are you seeing the trend in Reckoning's bans?
Not really.
They're all the council's comfort picks or cheese strats or pocket strats or niche picks or whatever word you want to use. Chen, Jin Hero, Nature's Prophet, Jin Hero, Visage, Jin Hero, Skyrath Mage, Len Hero, and
Oh
the
boy.
Ember, also something that Len plays every now and then.
Ah, yeah, indeed. Now that you mention it, I do see it. Looks like they want to make sure they don't get a. I don't want to say cheesed, but they don't want Council to play to their strengths. They wanted to try something different, force them to play out of their comfort zone, and try and play some good objective and just some good quality Dota. Not resorting to the comfort heroes and then just demolishing them in lanes right away,
And
but
that's
making
that's
good
the
decisions for
problem.
the rest of the
That's the
game.
problem about the council, in my opinion. They rely too much on getting these 4 or 5 heroes, without which they don't stand a fighting chance in a lot of games. I've seen them work on this. They've improved on this aspect of their drafting, that they do have a little more range to work with. Uh, but it remains to be seen whether this improvement is actually if this can actually match up with the better teams like Reckoning.
Okay. Well, Reckoning, they
So
have been fairly consistent in this
yeah,
Premiership.
Reckoning are looking really good. I mean, if you look at the top three, it's Signify, Buriza, and ROG Titans. Buriza is sitting at 18 points. The ROG Titans at 15, and Reckoning are tied with them for third place at 15 points. The Council, though, they're at ninth place with 6 points. So
Okay.
there is phase two indeed, but you want them to start winning as much as possible.
Oh yeah, you want
Uh,
to have the advantage right off the bat. You don't really want to be relying on phase two to make a comeback in the Masters League because
yeah,
a lot of these teams they play with the momentum. They start feeling confident. They start making better decisions. They show more faith in their drafts, and the overall play becomes a lot more confident. It's just the psyche that changes when you start winning these games early on in the Premiership.
yeah.
You start feeling the dominant force, and unless you do some godly analysis of your replays and your opponent's replays, that confidence, if you haven't won the first few games in the Masters League, may not entirely return. I
Hmm.
think that's a huge part in ESL, which I think gets seldom looked over. So it's
Yeah.
important to sort of make sure you win those early games. But Council, well, they picked the odds for it up.
This is clearly one of Jin's
Oh,
off-lane
yep.
Earth Spirits,
Mm.
which I've seen him run only one time earlier on in the summer season, and for that matter,
We
in the
casted that
entire.
game.
Yeah, we casted that game. Uh, Jin's pool has expanded because Jin, much like Len, was a one hero wonder in the first edition of the ESL India Premiership. Okay, my mic is still horrible, is what I'm being told. I'm going to try and fix it. I'm going to mute my mic and I'll be back, and hopefully you can let me know if it's okay.
All right, sure thing. I'll take you guys through the draft up until then. Reckoning Esports will pick up the Dragon Knight. So, a little fun backstory about this offlane Earth Spirit. Len took this Earth Spirit to the offlane, built the Helm of the Dominator, and started roaming around the map doing a lot of stuff. And towards the late game, he had a lot of farm to his name. He had, I think, a Shadow Blade, a Silver Edge, something like a Scythe of Vice, a Blink Dagger, and another one or two really big items. And I was quite surprised to see Len make it work in the offlane because offlane Earth Spirit it used to be a thing in the past. Some teams used to run it. I think it was quite a few patches ago. I think it was around 2016 that some teams used to run that offlane Earth Spirit when it had just been introduced into Captain's mode.
Okay,
And
is
Vivek,
is
I
it
hear you.
is it
It is
better?
much. Okay, I still hear some static, but I
Okay,
guess if you don't peak, I guess if you speak a bit softly, it should fix the issue.
okay. I'm going to keep working on it. Give me a
All
couple
right,
of minutes.
sure thing. Reckoning, on the other hand, what are they going to do? I don't know for sure yet if this is a offlane Earth Spirit or Clockwork. Clockwork is, in all honesty, not the best hero to lane against Shakiro and Sand King. Someone like the Earth Spirit is somewhat better because of his ability to just roll away if he gets chased down by the Gyrocopter. Although around that time, you're really hoping for the Sand King Battle Strike to come in and be on the money to make sure that Rolling Bowler is cancelled. But whatever they decide to run in the off lane, he won't have a fun time here, especially against this Gyrocopter. Now, we do know that the Dragon Knight is going to be going mid most likely, unless it's an off lane or a safe lane Dragon Knight, which, in all honesty, we have seen a couple of times, and I think Reckoning might do the smart thing here and send the Dragon Knight to the safe lane, while Razor will go mid up against the Gyro, and I I think that's going to be a really good matchup for Reckoning because Dragon Knight versus Razor is really Razor favored. You just end up taking away all his damage and start zoning him out, and all the armor you have on Dragon Knight doesn't end up mattering. And looks like I was sort of right about that. They do pick up the Legion Commander, so it's not going to be an offlane Dragon Knight. Only two lanes remain for this guy. It is either the mid lane or the safe lane, and the safe lane looks a lot better for him. In fact, having so many stuns against the Earth Spirit is a big upside, but the Council looks like they will run the Brewmaster, so very few draft coming out here by the council. It's going to be a core Earth Spirit, it's going to be a core Brewmaster, and a core Razor. So it is going to be deaths on the Razor, and I think the good part about Council's lineup is the great amount of disable they have, and a lot of control in these team fights that they're going to be having against the Heroes of Reckoning, which could really come in handy in all honesty. You're up against a Legion Commander, if you hold up in the air during the duel or before it, her effectiveness is sort of nullified. Then you have all these other stuns coming in from the Earth Panda. You also have the ability to sort of purge off any debuffs that get placed. I'm not sure if Ice Path is dispellable, but in case it is, that is something that Council are going to be working with. I'm just going to have a look real quick and see if Ice Path is indeed dispellable. I think it is because Slug can dispel it, and it's strong dispels. I'm not sure what Earth Spirit's Blue Panda dispel is, but I think it's a basic dispel. I don't think it's a strong dispel. So Ice Path's still a good disable. But going into this draft, I must say, I think I prefer the Council over Reckoning, even though their draft seems a bit more well balanced. Okay. Well, gonna have a pause coming out immediately. Vivek, he's still trying to fix his mic issues at the moment. As soon as he's done with those, he'll be back. If he's not, I'll take you through the game. And, well, let me start off by introducing the players and the heroes on the side of the council. You're going to be having Jin playing the Earth Spirit, Animal, Reina, Animal featuring Reina, in fact, playing the Rubik. Going to be having Deaths on his Razor, Len, the guy who's returned for council. Not for good, though. It is still sort of uncertain if he's going to be playing for a long while on the Brewmaster, who's heading towards the mid lane. And we're going to be having Lost Rider on his Clockwork. So it does look like it is going to be an offlane Clockwork. It's not going to be an offlane Earth Spirit. I just said it's going to be the offlane Earth Spirit because that's what we saw coming out from the council last time. And oh, Vivek, I think I hear you.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
Is it still
perfect.
horrible?
Thank God. Nope, it is
So
amazing. Your voice sounds like that of an angel.
Okay, nice. Thank God, because I had to reboot my PC. For some reason, my mic ended up bugging out when I switched ports and tried to get things to work. Fortunately, I had one of those Hyper X SSDs and I could boot and join the game really quickly.
Oh
Shameless
boy.
brand integration, but I tried.
Well, Dot on the bottom lane is going to end up breaking the smoke, and the Dragon Knight, that's ASD, is not too happy about it as he was pinging like a madman. But
Hmm
you
I like
see
the
the
Reckoning
council
draft
fight.
more.
Mhm.
I'm a bit confused with this Brewmaster pickup though.
I'm not too sure either what the Brewmaster pickup is against the Gyrocopter, but I do think coming level 6, the Brewmaster can actually solo kill the Gyrocopter if he gets a Thunderclap off, and that's something that the Gyrocopter will have to be worried about. Bottom lane though, Chin will steal their rune, and Animal might pay for trying to contest the rune with his life, but Death is going to come in with a Static Link, doing some work on his Defeater, seeing a fair bit of damage early on, 38 damage, while World Favorite is zoning out Animal on the back lines. Animal does have assault, so he should be okay. And looks like it is going to be an aggressive duel lane in the bottom lane. Oh, Jin is going to roll in. It does not connect, but does get the Orb of Venom slow. So a lot more harass damage coming the way of the LC. And, well, mid lane, it's going to be the Gyrocopter versus the Brewmaster. Huh. Yeah, so Vivek, you did tell me that you liked Reckoning's lineup a bit more. Can you take me through why you like it a bit more? But I think I might have to hold on to that because bottom lane Zafito was dropping low. Does manage to get back to his tower. World Favorite as well, getting some damage stolen off of him. Zafito is going to take a base strip. And yeah, Vivek, why do you like Reckoning's lineup a bit more than the Council?
Um, I just think it's a lot easier to run. I mean,
Okay.
there's plenty of lockdown. They can push. They can somewhat take Roshan. As far as the lanes go, I don't know. I think the Legion Commander is going to do okay. Uh, but yeah, they're going to have to itemize a bit unconventionally. They might have to build 4 staffs just so that they can stay away from the clockwork if need be, and such and such.
Well, okay. So you think that the lineup of Reckoning Esports is a lot easier to execute than the Council? Is that the baseline?
Yeah, it's easier to execute. That is it.
Okay. What do you think of all the control, though, that is available to the side of Council? Do you think it's going to have a big impact in these fights? Do you think maybe perhaps with the sheer amount of disables they have, they can sort of overrun the side of Reckoning? Because I'm having a small inkling that this Brewmaster, Earth Spirit, and Clockwork Rubik, like these four heroes offer you so much control. I mean, well, Rubik maybe not so much, it depends on the spell he steals, but these other three heroes, Earth Spirit, Brewmaster, Clockwork, they certainly do offer you a lot of control.
Yep.
So,
It is some form of control, but I don't think that the council are going to be able to scale phenomenally well into the late game. Um, their mid game and lean more towards reckoning. They come online quicker with less. They're easier to execute. Sure, the Brewmaster once he hits level 25 is gonna have that huge talent and whatnot. Uh, but until then, it's gonna be hard.
okay, looks like we're having some camera issues at the moment. Not sure what's going on here.
Where are you getting these pings about camera issues?
I'm getting them on TeamSpeak at the moment. So, are you situated in the mid lane? Is that where your camera is right now? Is it static? Have you started your script or anything? Because I'm watching the
My
stream
camera's
right
on the
now.
bottom lane. If production could be so, guys.
Okay, production. It was a production error. Yeah. Now the camera is gonna be back in my control.
Okay, you know what, Floki? It's me on the camera.
It's you?
Yeah, it's me. Anyway,
Okay.
okay. So bottom lane, what we got? That's on the race. I think we've got it sorted out. It should be sorted out. They can just stick with us observing this one and hopefully it'll be sorted. Let's get back into the game. We got a disconnect. I personally feel that Reckoning have the easier to execute draft.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They have a very easy lineup. They just need to get a pick off here and there, and you can almost always convert that into a push. Also, the fact that Reckoning have a lot of sources of damage in these team fights, if you think about it. You're going to be having the Sand King with the Epicenter. You're going to be having Jakiro with his arsenal of spells. And you always have to be worried about the Gyrocopter at all stages in the game. His damage output is indeed significant early on. Rocket Barrage is quite a big damage dealing spell. If he chooses to go for the homing missile, he's going to have another nuke to work with. Also, the fact that it's a 3-second stun at max level is something that Dot could look at and consider. Probably take it up and max it out early on against these heroes to provide some chase. Because if you look at the lineup of Reckoning, they're really good at getting the jump, but after that, chasing might be a bit of an issue for them, especially if they stack the stuns. So it's going to come down a lot to the execution of Reckoning. They have to make sure that they don't just chain up their stuns and use Power Strike, Ice Path, and Duel on the same goddamn hero and just bring him down early on. Because, well, sure, you're going to get the pick off, but then you're going to be running dry when Clockwork hook shots in and Brewmaster blinks in with his ultimate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's one thing worth pointing out that we're going to see four staffs coming up from the for the Clockwork. And that four staff is also going to do well versus the Razor, who won't be getting the static link off from any one of these cores. I think the best core he can get a static link off from is that Legion Commander.
Okay.
And I think the Gyrocopter is going to be building a four staff for the Clockwork, right? So that's going to do him some good versus the race as well. I don't know if the Dragon Knight's going to be building a 4-staff. Haven't seen that, never have seen that, never should see that. But the Gyrocopter shouldn't be too worried about losing his damage to the Razor. You've also got Pressy Attack, which dispels the Drunken Haze. I mean, the small bits and parts of this Reckoning draft that do counter or work against Council's lineup. In fact, I don't know, maybe they could have just sent the Legion Commander mid and the Panda would be having a really hard time.
Perhaps, but the Panda is having a hard time nonetheless. He's sitting for 4-1, is up against the dual lane. Good thing is that the XP is being shared between the Gyrocopter and the Jakiro, and you can see the effect of this already. The Jakiro, hell, he's level 3, and Dot just picked up his level 3. So, the levels are going to eventually...
They're sharing EXP, but you give your Panda the mid lane, you want him to be coming out with a blink or some impactful item early, and sure, he's going to come out with EXP, but it's not going to have too much of value as far as items are concerned.
Oh yeah. Well, Tet's he's just doing his thing in the bottom lane, just static linking up the Sand King and the LC. LC, not a great matchup for her, to be honest, because very reliant on those right clicks early on to get her last hits going.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I want to point out about how lifesteal works, because I think that's very important, especially with LC. Because LC, she lifesteals off of a third spell, and as a Razor, if
Moment
you
of
manage
courage,
to...
yeah.
Yeah, so if you steal off all the damage from a hero, lifesteal will actually deal damage to you. It's a very weird mechanic that I don't know why it exists in Dota.
I
But
didn't
if you...
even know this.
Yeah, if you steal all the damage off of someone and they pop their satanic, they will essentially kill themselves. It used to be a thing. I'm not sure if it still is. Maybe
Okay.
we can find out today. But
I don't know. Maybe he gets a full duration link. Maybe not. We'll see that at play. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Banes with 10 people. I've never seen that weird mechanic take place. Zafito, though, he's got to be careful. The telekinesis is there. He burrows to the high ground, commits his mango, but he's going to end up falling. Animal and Jin find themselves the Sand King. And up top, Lost Rider, man fighting the Dragon Knight and coming out on top.
that's rare. The Clockwork managing to solo the Dragon Knight, not something you see very often, to be honest. Dragon Knight
I mean,
is fairly
Floki,
tanky.
we've been watching OD Dragon Knight, Shadow Fiend Dragon Knight, all these matchups, and the Dragon Knight is okay, but one Clockwork.
Oh yeah, one little clunky boy versus
Yeah.
a dragon. Well, Clockwork does have a lot of magical damage in his battery assault. At level 2 he does... What's the math looking like there? So he does 450 plus half of 450, it's 225. So he does nearly a finger's worth of damage with battery assault early on if he gets the full duration off. And you can see that. You can look at this top lane, ASD. Half of his health is already gone because the battery assault just does so much work.
And the cock pushback.
Oh yeah. And if you keep taking battery assault damage like this, you are gonna end up falling against the Clockwork. I think the ideal scenario for ASD should be to just push out the lane as quickly as he can with Breathe Fire, so that he doesn't end up tanking the battery assault along with the Clockwork's right clicks.
Yeah.
Push in the creep wave, send it forward, and you're not gonna be taking any harass from the Clockwork. Well, I want to say one thing. It is that if the Council get the Blink Daggers online fast enough, say around the 15-minute mark, Reckoning will have trouble, especially if it's the Council who finds the jump, because if this Brewmaster jumps on the Gyrocopter or say the Jakiro and like any of these heroes apart from the Sand King, they don't have really good ways of going away. You can have a Clockwork come in, you can have Jin come in, and...
Well, speaking of the Clockwork, he's committed the hook shot. He's trying to run down Zafito. Zafito looking to Burrow Strike to his high ground. Tries to Burrow Strike out of the cogs. Ends up getting pushed back and ends up falling. Mid lane, Flamey on the Jakiro. He's got that shrine to work with. Jin will whiff on the rolling border. And Flamey considering that shrine. But elsewhere, Dot, man fighting Len here without the rocket barrage. I mean, without the call down, there's no way he finds the skill.
Oh yeah, Brewmaster is Danky Panda early on, has a lot of strength gains, so it's gonna be fine against the burst damage from Dot. He might even pick himself up a raindrop so he doesn't take a lot of call down damage. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him get an early stick, but looks like he's running dry on farm, so he's gonna prioritize his boots. I think against a Gyrocopter at level 6, that's gonna give you kill potential.
He's got as much CS as the Legion Commander.
I mean, the Legion Commander, well, in the off lane, not having a lot of fun time. Typically when you pick the LC, you want to have the advantage in lane, so to say. You want to have the ability to just punish the supports or the cores. But in this lane against the Razor, it's very hard to do.
The supports have been sitting mid where they're going to find themselves a kill on Dot. Dot pops those stick charges, but Animal along with Jin will bring down the Gyrocopter. Council trying to remedy their lanes, moving across the map, finding important kills. Lost Rider was already looking pretty darn good in the off lane. Hit his 6 before the 6-7 minute mark. He's got the hook shot, he's got kill potential. And this is when the Council like to transition. This is when they give Jin the off lane for a bit. Let Lost Rider get active across the map.
Lost Rider though might be in some
He's
trouble.
got to be careful. The Animal is here with the telekinesis. Lost Rider wants to fight. He's got confused raindrops. Zafito dropping low. The rocket barrage being blocked off by a bunch of bodies. He's looking for the hook shot and he won't miss. Lost Rider on a killing spree will also keep pushing back Flamey onto the low ground. Animal has the Fate Bolt if need be. 2 points in it. Might just use it to secure the kill. And the Council. Well, 3 heroes go up on a Clockwork and 2 of those end up falling.
In the bottom lane, this does mean that it's going to be some space for LC, who's going to be jungling up this hard camp and hopefully finding a level 6 in a reasonable time. Tets has the raindrop, so is not too worried about this LC. Only has to be worried when the static link is off cooldown and if LC is somehow able to dispel it. And you can see that's, I mean, has the phase boots and is timing it perfectly with the LC's phase boots as well. So LC can't really dispel the link,
Yeah,
even though she has that movement speed.
absolutely.
Zefito is going to run into some trouble this game if he doesn't find these ganks.
He's
8 minutes
trying
on
to find
level
a
2.
kill onto the Razor, but Death still has 120 stolen damage. It is going to time out. He's got the unstable current that's going to buy him a little bit of time. Time for the picks to come in. Animal is here. Has the telekinesis and the fate bowl. They're waiting, looking for an opportunity in Deaths. With this static link, should find at least one kill. Press the attack, keeps the LC alive, but the Sand King, he's going to end up falling.
Yep, the Sand King ends up dying once again, and this is very bad for Reckoning because your LC is not finding farm, your Sand King is not finding farm. The only one you're hoping to do well and initiate in these fights for you is going to be the Dragon Knight. But the Dragon Knight is a safe laner. You don't want him to go for the Blink Dagger. You want him to get items like Shadow Blade, items that help him get pickoffs all by himself, where he doesn't really need the team. And if he's forced to go for a Blink, he's going to scale slightly worse into the late game.
Yeah.
So
I think there was also one adjustment that Reckoning needed to do. They needed to make that gank happen on the Razor with the duel and with the rotation coming in from the Gyrocopter. Instead, mid lane, Dot controlled by the Boulder Smash and the Grip, drops the call down, looks to run. Len with the Cyclone controlling the Sand King, looks towards the Gyrocopter. The whole Boulder is there. Dot trying to run, but here's Jin. Just put in a couple of quick auto attacks, and with that last hurl boulder, they'll find themselves the Gyrocopter, the Jakiro and the Sand King trying to man fight 3 heroes from the side of the council, and they'll be punished dearly. Zafiro will fall first. Lost Rider with a hook shot, sets up on a Flamey, and they can all decide who gets the KS that one, as it's Jin who whiffs on the kill with the grip and ends up giving away a dual victory to the Legion Commander.
Well, Legion Commander finding some salvation in this early game is important for her to get that dual damage going. Because if she doesn't get that dual damage going, she becomes really, I'm going to say very low impact towards the late game and mid game. Typically, you want to have somewhere around 40, 50 damage going into the 25-minute mark. And if you have that, you're going to have a fun time on LC. Otherwise, well, good luck to you.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
let's see
one
if that...
thing you got to point out about Reckoning is they approached the first 2 or 3 minutes of the lanes correctly by helping the Gyrocopter, by making sure that the Legion is able to stand in lane. But from there onwards,
Mid
they've
lane?
just been dying time and time again. This time though, it's Dot looking to find a solo kill onto the Brewmaster.
Well,
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, Brewmaster didn't have his ultimate. I don't think he had his phase boots either, so couldn't run away. And you can see the blades of attack. They are still in the courier. I think it was the Rubik or maybe the Razor who traded himself the courier, or probably the Razor, I think, to get his Aquila going. So, it sort of sucks for the Brewmaster, but this Brewmaster should be able to find some more pickups with his ultimate when it's back off cooldown. And when he does and has his Blink Dagger, that's when the Council look really strong, because you have these 3 modes of
Lost Rider whips a hook shot. Has the cogs, they're looking to control this clockwork. They don't have the ice path. The dual breath will miss. 4 heroes from the side of Reckoning trying to run down one measly clockwork. They'll get the duel. They have the rocket barrage. They'll get the dual victory damage as well. But Tets is here, has the plasma field, looks to turn, brings down the Legion Commander. Clockwork did end up losing his killing spree, but the question is, can the Council find more? The Breed Fire nearly bringing down Animal. Animal barely ends up surviving, but Jin, he's gone in balls deep. He's found himself the Gyrocopter, has the Magnetize, should find Dot. And even if he dies for this, it might be worth it because he's finding a core.
Yep, it's super worth it for Jin because he managed to find the Gyrocopter there. That was a streak, I think, going his way.
Yep.
Also the fact that the Gyrocopter... I mean, that was a really good TP by him early
No,
on.
there was no streak on the Gyrocopter. There was a streak on the Clockwork, which ended up going towards the LC or whoever picked up credit for that kill. I think...
Oh, okay, my bad.
I think it was Dot who got that streak. Yeah, it was Dot.
Alright. Well, Tets, I want to commend him. That TP was really, really good by him.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as they started diving, he starts TPing in, steals damage, gets the kill on LC. And the big factor there was Animal with the stolen overwhelming odds onto 3 heroes. That burst damage was insane, and that sort of allowed them to bring them down despite being really close to full HP.
Yeah.
So well played by Animal there. Quality spell usage.
Yeah.
Allowing Tets to sort of snowball in this early game. What are you really looking for as the Razor? You want to have some of those kills early on, and even if you don't have a crazy amount of kills, if you just have say 4-5 kills but you're still controlling the map, that's a win for the Razor, because that's what you really look to do. You look to limit other heroes' farm and make them afraid of fighting you early on. And if you're zoning them inside their own base, making sure they don't have control over their jungle, control over other areas of the map, well, that's when the Razor shines.
Thoughts on Zafito's skill build on the Sand King?
This is very similar to what I sometimes do in the off lane as a Sand King, putting more points into the
But
sandstorm to
he's
try and get a
not been
blink
playing in
early
the
on.
off lane.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, he's not really going to be able to assist in killing all these tanky heroes on the side of Council. You look at the Earth Spirit, he has 1.2k HP. Master, he's not going to go down
I
anytime
mean, you
soon
don't
unless
level
you
up
bring in
Power
multiple
Strike to do
heroes.
damage. You level up Power Strike so that you can help the others do
I
damage.
agree, but even then, you're going to need multiple disables every single time, and that means 5-manning up early for Reckoning Esports, and I think Reckoning Esports' 5-man early on is worse
What
than
are
the
you
Council's
saying?
5-man.
Dragon Knight.
I know, but okay, just look at
Dragon
the
Knight
amount of
Shakiro.
control. Look at the amount of control. You have Brewmaster Ultimate. You have Clockwork Ultimate. Okay, just imagine this.
Floki,
Clockwork goes
if,
on to
if they're
Dragon Knight
not meant
and
to 5-man,
Gyrocopter.
why is the Gyrocopter roaming? And why are they literally 4-manning down bottom?
They're 4-man.
Anyway, they're going in, they're looking for the duel. Lost Rider has a blade mail. There's that Power Strike. Still clips 2, and with the flak cannon, they'll find themselves the Rubik. Clockwork, now held in place with the duel, should end up falling. They've got the Rocket Barrage. They'll find themselves the Clockwork in deaths. Dropping really low. Pops the salve, has the face boost, but that Rocket Barrage stake was enough to disjoint that salve, and they'll finally bring down deaths. Zafito finds that third point in the Power Strike.
Okay, before you start validating your point of view on the basis of that fight, I just want to point out that the Council's 5-man is stronger than Reckoning's 5-man early on. I know it doesn't seem like it.
You know what? Let's just agree to disagree. I'm going to let chat chip in. You guys can say 1 for Council and 2 for Reckoning. Whoever has the stronger 5-man. And you can tell me whether the Sand King is meant to participate with his team or go farm. I mean, maybe he wants to farm. That's it.
I mean,
doesn't seem like it though. He's going to find
well,
some
look at the
animals.
bottom
That was a beautiful hook shot coming up from Lost Rider. 3 heroes from the side of Reckoning caught in those cogs. All 3 of them will fall. It's a triple kill for a Clockwork Floki. In my wildest dreams, I haven't seen this in a really long time, and they might be looking for more. They're giving vision for Jane. Jane whiffs on the boulder smash. Uncharacteristic of him, but Lost Rider wants to chase. Now Jane did have the rolling boulder, but the Council, showing a little bit of restraint, will back off.
Well, okay.
Good stuff coming out from Lost Rider. I mean, he's clearly been the MVP of the laning phase for the Council.
Oh yeah, MVP of the laning phase in this early game here as well. That 3-man hookshot was absolutely beautiful. And this is what I want to talk about. So, let's say the Council start 5-manning. Clockwork hookshots onto 1 hero. And say, except for anyone apart from Sand King, he hookshots anyone, what are they going to do? Think about the Gyrocopter, think about the Dragon Knight, think about the Jakiro, and think about the LC. If they're the ones initiated upon, they can't do anything.
They're going in. They've got the duel. It's onto the Brewmaster. The Macro Fire, though, doing some real work on Jin with the Brief Fire. They'll find the Earth Spirit. The duel doesn't find them anything in now. With the Primal Split, the Council look to turn. They've got the Cyclone onto the Dragon Knight. They'll bring down the Jakiro, and they're setting up for Animal to come in. Animal with the Telekinesis will control the Dragon Knight. Steals the Brief Fire, while Lost Rider goes in on the back lines. Does end up finding one. The Cogs catch the Dragon Knight. They're still looking towards him. The Primal Split comes to an end, but Len pops his stick charges, gets the clap going, and ASD slowed down. His damage being stolen by him will end up falling. It's a double kill for Animal.
And once again, we see the Clockwork coming in with the hookshot, controlling heroes. Brewmaster being too damn tanky to take down the duel, all by the LC. Pops his ultimate.
Yeah, where was the Gyrocopter? Maybe they needed the call down to win that duel.
He TP'd somewhere, I think. Yeah, he TP'd to top lane, I'm guessing, pushed it out, and then started farming towards jungle. Yeah, that's what he did. So he TP'd top lane. I think the Council read that and immediately made the decision to go bottom. And this is what the problem is. If you look at the lineup of Reckoning, the heroes are not very good at dealing with the hook shot up until, say, you have a few items at least. And that's where the Clockwork is really shining. You can see every single time he finds a hook shot, it becomes a kill. He got a hook shot.
Yep.
He got a hook shot on the LC. The Brewmaster as well, every time he's popping his ultimate, he's finding some kills because his team is there to back him off. Back him up, in fact. Animal is always there in the backline, seeding some spells, and Wolfie, he's gonna be fine. Nice burst there. If he hesitated even for a second there, the Ruby could have found the lift.
Yep.
So, quality decision making there once again. But like I said, there's a lot of control from the side of the council, and if it is the council who are going to find the jump, which it has been up until so far, they're going to keep winning these engagements. Reckoning, the right thing for them to do is to find any one of these heroes, ideally the Brewmaster, who provides you a bunch of control, and take him down. But even if you duel the Brewmaster, there's always going to be the threat of the Clockwork hookshotting in onto the LC and other heroes who are surrounding the LC to deal damage. So, I mean, either way, Reckoning Esports, it's not looking too good for them. I think the best opportunity is to take 2v3 skirmishes or something like 3v2 skirmishes. You don't want to take full-fledged team fights because that is where you're going to lose against the council in this early game.
Yeah, at this stage, yes. Until those core staffs and DKBs come online, they're really suffering in these fights. Lost Rider, I mean, you said every hookshot leads to a kill. This one may or may not. They've got the telekinesis, they're looking towards ASD, the duel further on the high ground onto the Rubik. Rubik should end up falling. The LC not finding the dual victory damage, and Lost Rider in his cogs, surrounded by Reckoning, will fall as well. Down bottom, Jin looking to find his solo pick off onto the gyrocopter. He's got 4 remnants, he's dropping them. ASD is here, doesn't have the blink just yet. Jin, what's the play? Looks for that one glorious boulder smash, but a little bit of magnetized. Mid boulder smash, finding him his first on charge of the game. Quick epicenter coming in from the Sand King. It seems as if Reckoning want to fight, but the Prime and Split will control the Sand King, will toss the Dragon Knight up into the air. They'll bring down Safido, they'll look towards the Chakiro, and Legion Commander with that shrine active has no one to share it with as World Fab. Without the duel, will have no choice but to run.
Oh yeah. And once again, the control coming in from the side of the council. What happened in the top fight was that the Clockwork and Rubik were all by themselves. On top of that, you're fighting under a shrine, so that's a very bad decision there by the council to sort of fight under the shrine, especially
without vision. I mean, they've got all the vision here if you look down bottom.
Yeah, then that's another big factor too. In fact, I mean, yeah, I agree. Vision. If you don't have vision of where you're fighting, of course you're gonna lose the fight. So might as well fight where you have vision. And once again, we saw these 3 heroes from the side of the council doing the work. It was the Earth Spirit, it was the Brewmaster, providing you so much control. The Gyrocopter there, I think he was hanging around for a bit too long, low on HP, and as a result ended up falling.
Up top, Safido so close to his blink tagger, the Sandstorm. Stolen by the Rubik, Len in the trees, Safido. Badly wants that 30 gold and badly wants to be able to go to the side shot, but the council, they're going to try and punish him. I heard the hook shot miss. I think it connected onto the dire creep wave. Either way,
tactical hook shot.
Tactical hook shot.
Yeah, you just want to clear the creep wave and push the tower.
Yeah, they're going to start looking for this tier 1 tower. One thing that we've both been impressed with Floki is how active Vets has been.
Oh, yep.
I think we saw him play the Razor
yesterday
versus Brisa.
I think that was yesterday. I think that was yesterday.
Yep.
Where we saw him.
I mean, we've been casting so much ESL. We do tend to get things mixed up. But yeah, Reckoning, they're looking to fight. They've got the Shadow Blade. Is this enough? Dragon Tail into dual stuns, stacked up ineffectively. But with the Macrofy, they might find the kill. If not, the dual victory damage. For now, they'll be denied both. As Jin, with his own Shadow Blade, prepping for the counterplay, trying to line up these heroes. He'll move it onto the back lines. The smash only catches one, but the magnetize is bringing the Legion Commander low. Flamey turns around to drop an ice path, but Jin finds himself a double kill. And now Zafito with his blink tagger can't really offer all that much. The boulder smash will miss, but both Animal and Jin, they're looking to run down the Sand King. They've got the plasma field, they've got the urn charge. They'll find themselves Zafito.
Oh, yeah,
the Clockwork did end up falling though. I didn't catch that because I was looking at Jin really put in the work.
Yeah, the Clockwork did end up falling in the backlines. What happened in that fight was that they tried to bring down the Razor, but the Razor was pretty damn tanky. You have drums, you have Hood, and even though it wasn't activated, it does give you that bonus magic resistance. Also the fact that the Clockwork came in time with the Cogs pushing the LC back.
Yeah,
it was enough to save him.
I'm surprised that Reckoning haven't woken up to this, and now it might be too late, Flurky. Look, you want to use your gyrocopter more in these fights. You want the rocket barrage and the call down, but hold on, Shade roaming carelessly through that dire jungle with the Shadow Blade active, gets caught out and gets away. But Zafida looking to punish, goes in with the Power Strike. Power Strike stolen by Animal. Razor steals a bit too much damage. I'm not sure this duel will end up working out. There's a Power Strike on to do. This time the gyrocopter comes in, but Lost Rider is there with a hook shot. They lose the gyrocopter. While Council might look to turn things around, they bring down the LC, and Death with 133 stolen damage might look towards the Dragon Knight. Animal, Power Strike after Power Strike, ensuring that his side has enough control. Zafido does manage to come back and punish Animal, but the Council, they've already got what they came looking for as they end up cleaning up and finding themselves the Chakiro, and they only end up losing both the supports.
Oh, well.
So, I mean,
Council,
Floki, we have to talk about this. You have Duel, you have a gyrocopter. Why is he not coming and dropping the call down and using his rocket barrage when these duels are taking place?
Two things. First, he needed an early trunks, which he didn't get, and he delayed his Hurricane Pike by going for Yasha in between the Dragon Lance. As a result, you're effective. You end up losing one fight with the Gyrocopter isn't there. You end up losing another fight with the Gyrocopter isn't
Exactly.
there. Now, by the time the Gyrocopter has a Hurricane Pike, it doesn't matter because
Right.
the control from the side of the Council is so huge. You have a Brewmaster with the split. Like, he's gonna hold someone up in the air and stun another dude. He's gonna be having clockwork going on to someone with the cogs. That person is not gonna be fortunate. He's gonna die because, well, you look at the side of Reckoning, don't have a lot of post-ups at the moment, apart from the Gyrocopter. And the Rubik as well stole a Burrow Strike, and this is what I was talking about. Like, it depends a lot on the spell Animal steals about his effectiveness in team fights. If he stole something like the Burrow Strike, he got the two-man Burrow Strike off when the duel was going on from Reckoning, so that was also a big factor.
What a hook shot. Wait, is there Radiant Vision anywhere in the lane?
Yeah, it is. There is a
Oh, okay,
one
there
over
is an
there.
observer one.
You see it?
Ah, yeah, I did. I see a little bit of graffiti around it as well. I mean, I was like, there was no way he hits that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So, I really have to commend the council. I mean, getting their cheese picks taken away. I mean, I've been following them since the first edition of the ESL India Premiership. This is the third edition, so I've been seeing them every year, and they've definitely improved by leaps and bounds.
oh, yeah. Bottom lane, AST.
They're going to be a bit disappointed with where they are on the table, though. But I'm pretty certain that if they keep up this kind of play, they're going to be up there. The problem, though, for them as a team is that they have a very unstable roster. Occasionally, it's Susmoy, occasionally it's Len. I don't know what their best five are.
Well, not sure about the best five, but this lineup certainly seems to be working out very, very well for them.
Absolutely. They have a 100% win rate with Len, I think. Until this game. That's been only one game with Len. Let's see if they can keep that 100% win rate going.
Yeah, and Len is going to pick up his Axe Scepter now, is also going to queue up the Radiance, and this Brewmaster in the late game is such a dangerous foe. Even if you don't go for the Primal Split cooldown, he does a lot of damage with the 100 attack speed talent, and like the 15% Drunken Brawler chance. He's going to be critting for days, he's going to be dodging for days, so it's going to be really hard to bring him down unless you have the right items. And by then, it might already be too late. I mean, Brewmaster could get himself something like an Assault, something like a Shiva's Gut to take care of the physical damage. The mischance from Radiance combined with a Drunken Brawler is going to make sure that he doesn't get hit too much up until the cores from Reckoning pick up MKBs or a Bloodthorn. And even apart from that, you still have to consider the control that's going to come out from Animal, from the Earth Spirit, and Razor static linking your LC when she's dueling. This is so many bad things for Reckoning at the moment. Like, I mean, sure, on paper the lineup looks very, very strong, but in order to execute this lineup, you need to take skirmishes, you need to take 2v3 fights or 3v2 fights. You can't fight the entire lineup of the council together because they will out-control you. If you want to outfight them, you do it with a net worth advantage, which they don't currently have. Or you do it with an Aegis, which they don't have either. And
I think you start by smaller pickoffs. I think you start by keeping vision around the pit.
oh yeah,
That's where Reckoning want to find their way back into the game. I also think, I mean, I personally, as a player, I start giving up hope when my last tier 2 towers being taken away like this. I hate giving away my tier 2 towers.
Yeah, I think tier 2 towers are extremely important because,
I think,
well, you just get pushed inside your base and, well, like you can't farm your jungle.
Jane
Oh,
goes in,
God.
Boulder Smash, Magnetize, they've got the Legion Commander, and world favorite before even getting the duel off will end up falling. This is even worse. Giving up your tier 2 towers and giving up your last tier 2 tower and not having buyback.
Len? Earth Panda AFK? Oh, okay, never mind.
No, he's got the Storm Panda up there. I think Reckoning are doing the right thing. They're pushing for tier 2 towers themselves, but they might lose their tier 3 towers. I think they need the Dragon Knight and the Gyrocopter to come back in. Zafido with that own charge upon him, one peep linking and getting the epicenter off. But I have to point out one thing about Reckoning Floki. They are familiar with the late game. It's where
Okay.
we saw them take a game of ROG Titans at the
Oh yeah.
MPGL India qualifier. So they know this part of the game well. And just as I start singing praises about them, the Dragon Knight might end up getting picked off. Okay, won't.
Well, they used all the stuns,
Hmm.
and you don't have Primal Split. But either way, you can see Len, despite that bad early game on his Brewmaster, died
Oh
only
yeah,
once. Has Radiance, has an Aghanim Scepter. I mean, not Radiance, but Relic and getting pretty close to his Radiance.
he's up there. He's up there.
Definitely.
I like what Reckoning are considering. Are they looking to sneak Roshan or find a pick and go towards Roshan?
Well, they can't do Roshan fast enough, so they certainly need to find a pick-off first. If they had damage on the LC, maybe Roshan is a possibility, but you don't, so you look for the pick-off first.
Uh-huh.
And they just might find
Fab,
Animal.
World Fab. Nope. Wait, are they gonna? No. They don't find anyone or anything. And wait,
Oh,
Legion
wait.
Commander's still chasing.
I mean, she won't win the duel against Clockwork. The Clockwork will turn and kill him if she's not careful. She's gonna need allies, and I think the right game plan from Reckoning was probably that get your LC a fast blink, get your Jakiro a fast 6, and use your Macropie and duel together to secure duel victories every single time.
Mhm.
I think
I
that's
think
really...
it could have been Burrow Epicenter, it could have been Call Down, it could have been any one of these three.
Yeah, but the
But
main
none of
idea
them
is-
really helped out. Oh, what? Hookshot? He's gone in. He finds the Dragon Knight. But this might not look or turn out too well for the Council. The Clockwork does have the Blade Mail, but Dot, expending his BKB, will only find himself a Clockwork. Deaths with his own BKB, looks to turn, looks to run in. ASD, man fighting as the Dragon Knight. Deaths with 140 stolen damage, will end up getting duel, and the Legion Commander with the Blade Mail ends up winning that duel. She's barely alive, but she's looking to run. Elsewhere, Epicenter comes in, the Yule Scepter coming in from the Storm Panda, buying a little bit of space and time, while the Primal Split being used by Lenya to focus down Dot, but he's lost all his Brewlings. It's only the Earth Panda all by himself. The Earth Panda, what can he do? He's looking to run. He won't get his blink off. Safido with a perfectly timed Power Strike, holding Len in place. They'll surround it, they'll bring it down, and they'll take away his killing spree as well.
That was honestly so well played by the LC there. The LC was just waiting in the back lines for the Razor to steal some damage. She knew there's no other way they kill the Razor. So what she did, she waited in the back lines, popped her blink, popped her blade mail, activated the press the attack, and then dueled the Razor. Used his own damage to kill him off. And Razor had fallen fairly low because of the Dragon Knight hitting him away. And as a result, ended up losing the duel. I mean, they ended up winning the duel. What am I saying? And Clockwork, the hookshot was nice, but his team was still on the low ground. And when the Dragon Knight is standing over here, are you okay? Wait, I don't think you can see me drawing because the
I
game is
see
paused.
where your camera is.
Yeah, but when you're standing on the staircase here and the Dragon Knight is up there guarding it like a raid boss, you can't really go up and expect the team fight to go well. You're not going to be able to walk up to heroes and just use your spells on them. So, good positioning there by Reckoning. That's what won them that fight. Also the fact that LC was very patient with a blink, finding the kill on the Razor. And this is what Reckoning need to do each fight. They need to sort of realize when the Council are overextending. This time it was the Clockwork with the hookshot and punish it. And once you start getting these few pickups here and there, you're going to be able to get control back in this game. And if you look at the lineup of the Council, you don't really have potential to take Roshan. At least you don't do it very fast. So, Reckoning, Roshan is something that is always a possibility for them. And the Council are going to be forced to respond to Roshan every single time.
Right. I think, yeah, like you said, all credit for that fight goes to the Legion Commander. And I don't know if that should be building into the Zac Scepter, or maybe just looking at something like a Lincoln Sphere.
The Axe is fine. I think he's going to need some more armor after the Axe, which is going to be crucial for the Razor. He needs the Axe because they need to siege high ground. They don't have any hero to go high ground at the moment. They rely very heavily on winning a fight. And to be honest, when you have so much control, you want to mix it up with some sieging potential so that enemies, when you go high ground, even if they approach you, they always have to be afraid of the control. And I think that's what the Council are looking to do. Get your Razor the Axe, go to the high ground, and then force Reckoning Infinity to react. And because you have the better counter initiation, you hope to win the team fight.
Well, Reckoning, they have smoked up now. I don't know if if they can repeat the success they had in the previous engagement. The LC still doesn't have all that much as far as dual victory damage is concerned, but there's a ray of hope. What I want to see the council doing is probably first take down the shrines together. They've left this dire shrine in the safely in jungle still standing, and you want to take that down. You want to make sure that Reckoning have no way to get to Roshan.
I think there's also the fact that if you look at Reckoning's lineup, uh, wait a second, I just potatoed there. So if you look at Reckoning's lineup, they are really good at taking Roshan once they have your items. Gyrocopter has that option now. Could look to go Roshan as well for Reckoning, and the Council don't have vision around the pit at the moment. These are dire words, so they don't know if Reckoning are doing Roshan, and I think that's something that they always gonna have to be afraid of.
Right.
Jin is looking to finish up his Nullifier. Against these BKBs, it's really good, especially if he can jump in first. But if he doesn't, then this Nullifier is probably going to be a waste of an item. Because you ideally want to get it off on heroes like the DK or the Gyrocopter. Maybe even the Sand King. Right. Otherwise, the item is just useless. Well, for now, the Council, they just need to hope to finish this Axe Scepter. Once they have it on the Razor, they can try and siege high ground. In the meanwhile, look to limit your map control. Look to limit their map control on the opponent team. And try not to die, which...
I think he's found the clockwork. The duel is there. There's that macro fire that you spoke of in conjunction with the duel. And all of a sudden, what was once a 7,000 net worth advantage in favor of the Council has now come down to just 1,000 gold. Jin, he's got that Nullifier. They lift up the Gyrocopter. Nullifier committed Gyrocopter, though he is fast. He looks to run. But the Cogs catch him too. They'll find themselves the Legion Commander. Zafito goes in with the AP and the Burrow Strike. It isn't enough to really net them a kill, as I think the Dragon Knight TP'd out, and Lost Rider with the hook shot mid 4-star from the Sand King will find Zafito, will retrieve the gem, and Jin with the Nullifier and the Urn will just slow down the twin-headed dragon and bring him down eventually. Flamey with a nice ice path. Can't really get out of it. Doesn't have anything like a blink or a 4-star. He's gonna end up falling. And just like yesterday's game that we casted, the AT Gaming versus Buriza youth game, this has been an equally back and forth game.
Oh yeah. This game, have to say, the Council, they are certainly showing that they're not to be just pushed over because they don't get the cheese heroes. But at the same time, I also want to say that you simply can't ban against the Council, because they're always going to find these heroes that are micro-intensive and are really high skill capacity, heroes like the Earthspit and the Brewmaster. And I mean, how many heroes are you gonna ban? If you're gonna ban the Chen, the Enchantress, the Brewmaster, you're gonna pick up something else like the Meepo.
Nice punch strike coming up from Zafito. So looking to fight the hook shot is there. Lost Rider catching Zafito, but he's got a 4-star. The duel will not end up going in favor of Reckoning, and with the telekinesis and that Nullifier, they look to bring down the Dragon Knight. Dot lets loose the flak cannon, nearly finds deaths, and AHD is chasing for this Razor, has that Shadow Blade. His BKB is starting to time out. The Breathe Fire will not end up connecting, and Deaths will manage to escape, while elsewhere, Len finds himself one, has the Hull Boulder controlling the Gyrocopter. World Fab looks to turn, doesn't have the duel, and hence Reckoning without the catch can't really punish the Council. They found both the supports, but this homing missile, it might net them the Brew Master as well. They've got the Rocket Barrage. I think AHD committed the Elder Dragon form just for Len, and he's gonna end up picking up that kill.
Oh, yep. Well, it was a buyback on the LC. It did end up paying off. But the problem is that the lineup of Council now starts to falter, especially when you don't have the armor items up on the Razor. He's taking a lot of physical damage in these fights. You could see last fight, he was getting sort of just flak cannon down because of the Gyrocopter. Presses his third skill button and then just starts firing away. And Death loses like half his HP.
Yep.
Once he has something like a Shiva's or an Assault, he's going to be looking a lot stronger for Council, but he just finished his Axe. You probably want to win another team fight before you're able to get those armor items, and this might be it in fact. This Roshan, even though Reckoning is good at taking it, Council is good at contesting it. That's something you have to remember.
Yeah, Reckoning's not going to get it that easily either. I mean, Roshan won't be falling all that quickly for the side of Reckoning. The Council, have they still got the gem?
No, it is over to the side of Reckoning. It is in the hands of Dot on the gyrocopter.
Okay, Dot holding on to that gem. I mean, that just goes to show how much of a factor this Jin Earth Spirit is in team fights. Just walking up slightly with that Shadow Blade, getting the Nullifier and the Urn off, and just bringing down or trying to bring down one of these cores. Now TPs are coming in. There's a Legion Commander TPing in onto a Shrine. She blinks, but she blinks to the hard camp, and they might have enough to control her. Lost Rider on point with a hook shot. They'll find themselves the LC. Animal as well as Lost Rider caught in the cogs, won't be able to chase. Zafito will manage to blink back.
Well, Razor popped his BKB there, so I think that was still okay for Reckoning. I mean, sure, you lose your LC. Roshan, I mean, they can actually do it, Reckoning. I mean...
Do you see the line they've drawn on the mini-map?
Oh,
no,
I didn't.
it wore off. But the line was basically, guys, we're going to push mid and take a tier 3. We're giving up Roshan, but we're trying to take a tier 3 tower.
I mean, did Reckoning draw the line?
Yeah. Look,
well, they
AFC
certainly are not
bottom.
doing. I mean, yeah, they're doing it bottom, but I thought he pointed.
Oh,
okay,
bottom.
Yeah, okay. It makes a lot.
I mean,
sense.
they're trying. The problem is the council. They've got Roshan and they can come back and defend. So pushing out bottom really did end up working all that well for them.
Oh yeah. Well, looks like Len is gonna be going for the Octarine Core next, so he does want the Primal Split level 25 cooldown reduction talent, and with that, he's just gonna be roaming the map with all his pandas, with the clarity in his pocket.
Oh.
So that's something that Reckoning are gonna have to look out for. And there's also something really, really cheesy that the council can do. Can you take a guess at what it is? Has something to do with the Brewmaster.
Earth Panda.
Yep, Earth Panda, go high ground, start hitting buildings. Nothing you can do if you're Reckoning.
Yeah, I think I don't know what the exact stats of the Earth Panda are, but it works better with Alacrity. Not sure if the Earth Panda just by itself is going to be enough. Safedo, blink it first off on cooldown. Gem in his inventory will end up falling.
He drops the gem before he... Wait, Reckoning? Do you see it?
Council.
Wait, Council? Oh, there's a gem lying on the ground.
No, they see something far more valuable. They see Dot in the mid lane, and if look at this, Lost Rider. Take a buff.
Oh my god, wait, the BKB, you don't have base to pierce BKB, so you're gonna be able to BKB TP out, but nonetheless, great hook shot there by Lost Rider. Despite the ward, it's sort of...
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the geometry or the angle on those hook shots are. He's making Pythagoras and all of them look massively stupid and just landing these insane hook shots. And yeah, now the council, they've got the Primal Split, they've got Deaths with his Scepter, and they take a lane of barracks.
Yeah,
who's got the Aegis?
Still a bit for slow stages.
Okay,
so
so
in the hands
it's
of
Len on the Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Brewmaster with Radiance, and he's really hard to take down, so probably give it to him. Razor, if he dies after getting a static link off, that Aegis is not going to be that valuable, especially because Eye of the Storm also does not persist through Aegis.
I like how they're doing this. They're not committing the Eye of the Storm. Nets will now pop his BKB. Now uses the Eye of the Storm, turns towards the Legion Commander, but Legion survives for a while, loses all his damage. The duel could still work though. ASD with his own BKB looks to turn. Lost Rider with the cogs, not really catching anyone, but Nets with the Eye of the Storm looks towards them. They'll get it and force out the glyph, which came a second too late. Reckoning, caught snoozing, will lose their barracks, will use the glyph for nothing really in the council. They can just start pushing bottom. They've still got the Aegis. They haven't got that BKB on Deaths for a good 40 seconds. But Lost Rider.
I mean, you have the Axe still though. So.
Wait, what? Len blinks forward, looks for the creep wave, gets stunned up. The epicenter and the bow strike is there. Len caught in the duel, will end up falling, but that's only the Aegis. Animal dropping low, falls to the overwhelming odds, and that's caught in the eye spot, will fall as well. Len has the Aegis, but what good is it if he doesn't have teammates to fight alongside him? Lost Rider dropped the cogs, looks to run, but Dot will chase him down. He has the rocket barrage, and with the MKB and the Sanjay Yash has more than enough damage to bring him down. And now Len. His Aegis taken away. His Earth Panda being hounded. He should almost certainly end up falling.
He blinks out though.
What?
I mean...
Did he blink out? So Icepath has a second to form, right?
Yep.
Jesus.
I think he shift queued his blink dagger in the right direction. And as a result, it sort of acts like face shift Primal Split in that instance. That if you're facing the right direction,
the blink is instant, you don't turn.
Yeah, the blink is instant. If you just don't end up, if the Earth Panda is facing the right direction and you queue up the blink, I'm not sure if you can queue up the blink actually because you don't have access to your items and
You
your
don't.
ultimate.
You really
But
don't. He was
you
just
probably have
spamming
quick
it.
cast.
And
Yeah.
I think he was just spamming it, and this man, he's a HyperX user.
You can clearly see that.
Anti-ghosting, instant mechanical response, zero latency Len survives to live another day and to push for another set of barracks.
I mean, they're trying to push in mid, but they've already taken the racks mid, the council.
I
They're
mean,
not too
but
unhappy
look
with
at
doing
Reckoning.
this.
The tier 3 towers dropping low. Len will at least force them to TP back. They forced the Chokito to TP back, and look at Jin. Surges forward with the rolling boulder, looks to cancel TPs, but Reckoning. I
They
think.
really want the clockwork. And
Oh,
clockwork
what
is
the
gonna go hook
heck?
shot.
I mean, this guy does it at will, Floki. He does it at will.
Okay. I mean, that was almost a throw there by Jin, but the magnetic grip actually secured the kill. This observer ward for the council paying dividends if you have a look at it.
I see it.
I mean, that's the reason why Lost Rider has been landing these hooks time and again. He
I-
did miss 2 hook shots in the last fight, but he's certainly making up for it.
Yeah.
I think Lost Rider should probably look to hook someone like the Gyrocopter, because even if you've managed to force out the Hurricane Pike and the BKB, that's a big win for the council, because then you can just look to reset if you haven't really gone in, and then you can start taking the racks away because the Gyrocopter doesn't have a BKB. And the next time he goes in, Brewmaster
Animal
will have
had
to control.
the Elder Dragon form also.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he
Oh,
stole it.
okay. I mean, I don't know how great that is in all honesty. As a Rubik, you don't,
You don't
really
have
want
too
to be
much
right-clicking.
HP, but the slow is nice, right?
Yeah, the slow is nice, gives you 25 bonus movement speed, so that's a free win blaze for 50 mana.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I think
I think
I
that's
think it's
actually not
nice.
that bad.
It's
Yeah, you
nice
can
to
actually
tell
just you can actually start chipping away at towers and barracks.
exactly, you can. You can. I mean, when Len goes ahead with the primal split and hopefully makes a lot of space, you can have Animal take down structures.
It's not the greatest because you don't have a lot of damage, but the poison on the range racks should do some work. Melee racks, it's a bit optimistic.
Why is that?
I mean, melee racks are 5
Wait,
HP.
what
even
is
at
wrong?
90.
Lost.
I mean, he's just saying hi with his new axe scepter.
Yep.
On the clockwork. And if Sand King or LC get found out by this clockwork,
Epicenter, it's coming through. It might not really connect. Zafido goes in. The duel is there. It's onto the Razor. Razor, does he end up surviving this? The hook shot is there. 2-man power from Animal. They are dropping low on the side of the council. They lose the Razor. They've lost the Rubik as well. And the Earth Panda being chased down by DOTA and AHD. The damage from the side of Reckoning is just a bit too much, as the Earth Spirit is the only survivor from the side of the council. It was a buyback from Zafido. And Floki. I mean
that's just
I just mentioned this casually at the 30-minute mark. This is where Reckoning are at their most comfortable.
I mean, yeah, the LC once again on point with the duel, manages to find the Razor and they burst him down. That was very important. Razor doesn't have a Lincoln's yet, neither does he have any significant armor item. He went for the Blade Mill early on this game. It's good, but I don't think it's that great. You typically want to save up for something like the Shiva's Guard or an Assault. Either of those would have been so much better at this moment.
Yeah.
So maybe the Blade Mail not the best item to go for. I think I understand the idea that Tets is having. It's like, well, LC is gonna be dueling me. I'm gonna put my Blade Mail on and reflect the damage back at her, and hopefully kill her during the duel. But it's not really happening.
The thing is, LC is not the one doing all the damage.
Oh yeah.
It's the Dragon Knight and the Gyrocopter. So you don't end up killing the LC during the duel. The Dragon Knight. I mean,
this
I
Dragon
don't,
Knight is
I don't
hard
think
to bring down.
Yeah, he hardly gets tickled by that blade mail.
Oh yeah. Oh, the hook shot will
I
live.
heard it.
But I mean, how do you kill ASD now if you're the council? I mean, sure, you have control, but where's the damage? Unless you get Silver Edge or Death picks up something like
I also
300
think
damage.
Jin, Lost Rider, trying his best, walks in with the blade
Well,
mail.
Dota's in an
He's
awkward
got-
position.
Yeah, I'm going to cut bottom with Zafido with the borrow in the epicenter. Catches 3 huge plays coming up from Zafido as Death ends up falling for 82 seconds without buyback. Animal, he's going to buy back, but I don't know what good a Rubik is. Jane, tagged by the dust, looks to run. They let the Earth Spirit live. Can Zafido catch more? He hasn't got the mana though for a Borrow Strike. And Animal, well, he wants to go back in. There's Len on the Brewmaster, gets the Primal Split off. The Ice Path catches to Zafido. Low on mana will just drop the Sandstorm, but look at this. The Dragon Knight looks to turn. Jin barely ends up surviving with the Rolling Boulder. And once again, it's just the Earth Panda. and the Storm Panda trying their best to stay alive. They'll bring down the Storm Panda. The Earth Panda being rescued by the Glimmer Cape turns around, drops the whole bolt and gets the hell out of there.
Oh, the Ice Path stolen by Reina.
Wait, what? Where
Yeah.
did that hook shot go?
Onto the siege creep.
Okay.
Animal will destroy it in a fit of rage.
So, there were buybacks expended in that fight. I think it was Animal buying back.
Yeah, I think that was well, let me just have a quick look.
We
Animal
can't-
did buyback. You
Oh,
can press enter
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
scroll through.
So, Animal bought back.
And
that's
that's the only buyback, yeah. Well, the good thing is that they've managed to find the Gyrocopter, but the Gyrocopter not too unfazed by that. This is the point where the Dragon Knight looks really, really strong against the Brewmaster, because you have the splash damage against the Brewmaster, so all his
Oh, yeah.
pandas end up getting hurt.
Yep.
And that's something that I don't think the council probably accounted for.
I think.
But now with the
his-
Octarine code, they can start doing some cheesy stuff that
They
Reckoning may not like.
can, but those Brewlings are dying as well, Loki.
I think the right play to make from the council at the moment is to sort of try and rat if possible. In one lane you put the Brewmaster, in the other lane you put the Razor. You go on either one with all your heroes, the other is going to take down the towers, be it the Razor with the Axe or the Brewmaster with the Earth Panda and the level 25 Primal Split. So close, I think this last creep is going to give him the XP, and indeed it does. Well,
Plus 40 strength. He's only going to be lasting longer, hitting harder, and with that deadlist of his, this Dragon Knight is going to look real scary.
yeah, I was talking about the Brewmaster.
Ha!
right?
Okay,
Oh.
so we got two big talents. I mean, sure, we got.
Yeah.
I think obviously the Primal Split cooldown is huge. We've seen, I mean, entire tournaments being put in disarray because of Ice and his Brewmaster. And literally, there's some things in Dota that are fundamentally broken. And I think this level 25 talent is one of them.
Okay. Oh, Jin. Almost got caught out there.
Yeah. But Animal's got the Borrow Strike, and he's been making some plays with the Borrow Strike on previous occasions.
I mean, Animal is kind of poor for a Rubik 48 minutes in, but being the position 5 and having Jin and Clockwork who don't
Yeah.
share any of the burden for detection and wards, I think it's safe to say that Animal has done a
I
good
think
job.
the only support item that Jin has bought is that urn.
I think he bought Dust a couple of times, but that's it.
I
oh no.
honestly think he could have gone for the
Blame
Spin
me?
Vessel. He might find the Jakiro though. Hex even coming out, but press the attack, keeping the Jakiro alive. Lost Rider with the homing missile should look to run. But Len, with the Primal Split, wants to force the issue. He's got the Storm Panda controlling the Dragon Knight, the Ice Path in turn controlling the Storm Panda. Both teams looking for an opening, but they haven't got vision on Jin. Look for the hook shot from Lost Rider. That's what I'm watching for.
Oh, Brewmaster is gonna blink out. Does see ASD. Has Primal Split once again. Ooh, that was close.
Ah, duel. They've got Animal. They will bring down the Rubik. Lost Rider goes in with the hook shot. Razor pops his BKB, but AHD looking to run. Doesn't have too much mana. The Legion walks in and comes a whole lot of damage. Has to press the attack to bail himself out. And now, with the Flak Cannon and the BKB, they'll look to deal with the Brewlings. They'll bring down the Razor. They'll turn towards Len. Jin, the other brother, still alive. But he hasn't been able to do too much in this fight as Dot and AHD just wrecking havoc when the side of the council do decide to group up a bit.
I think that was a bit of a misplay there by Jin. He missed his spells on the Sand King. There was a beautiful hook shot though coming out from Lost Rider. He managed to catch two heroes and
Yeah.
push them back with the cogs. The LC, I'm not sure who she quite dueled, but
So
I think
you
that
were
was a
you were
successful
looking
duel.
in that part of the fight. I was looking at the other part. The LC just jumped the Rubik, and I think that's kind of huge.
Yeah, that's
because
huge.
if I'm not mistaken, Animal had Borrow Strike before that fight. And
Yep.
I mean, it sounds silly on paper, right? Rubik, like what does that hero do? But Animal's been putting in a lot of work. And yeah, I
Oh,
think he
no.
did good to just bring down the Rubik. Jane walks into the pit. They should have detection. Come
They
on.
don't.
Reckoning, you know you're better than this. Please. It can't end like this. No
Wait.
team deserves to lose a game of Dota because they're not carrying detection.
But Jin,
Anyway.
I think he showed himself with the boulder.
Yeah, he did.
Not
He
too sure that
announced
was the
himself.
Right idea.
But reinforcements are on the way, are they? The Brewmaster and the
Hook
Razor
shot.
are dying, but Lost Rider goes in with a hook shot, drops the cogs. Roshan's still low, but the cogs will ensure that Lost Rider can't go inside and pick up the Aegis. He's got his own force staff, but that'll only push him closer to death and destruction. And Dot ends up losing the Aegis. So Gem on the floor. But I think Reckoning got what they were looking for, and now if they just march down mid, they might be able to force a buyback. That's exactly what they need to do.
Jin just bought himself a Dagon. I just want to point out that this Earth Spirit actually hit somewhat hard at this point. He went for the plus 40 damage at level 10, and because of the Shadow Blade and Nullifier, his right clicks actually do a lot of work. So getting on top of someone like the LC or Chiquito could be a
Wait, what? Jin has the Hex. He looks to turn towards the Gyrocopter, but there's the duel. Jin will be punished and he may hit hard, but the LC is only going to take advantage of it with that Blade Mail. The Jakiro dropping low ends up surviving courtesy the Glimmer Cape. The Brewmaster commits a split, doesn't get too much done, and now Death's caught in the Dragon Tail will end up falling. Len, he's got the Primal Split at the ready any instance that he wants it, but he hasn't got a team to fight alongside him as Reckoning clean up everyone with the exception of the Brewmaster. There are buybacks available. There's another Primal Split, and Len is going to try his hardest to hold back Reckoning. A buyback coming up from Deaths on the Razor. Can the Council hold on? The Earth Panda, the only Panda alive, and you really need that Storm Panda. That's the one that offers control. The Earth Panda just, I don't know.
I mean,
It's
all he
cute.
does is give you a Thunderclap. And a
Yeah,
stun,
but I think Len has forgotten that you get the Thunderclap with the Ags, and I haven't seen him use it really. Unless he did.
I think the right idea for Council is just a split push now. I don't think they take these team fights anymore. I think they should realize that Reckoning have hit critical mass, and at this point, all team fights are going to go their way unless they make some godly plays on the side of Council, which is very unlikely to happen. So the
It's
right
getting
move from
harder and
them
harder.
is to split push.
I think the Razor started to fall off massively.
Oh yeah. Well, the good thing is that you do have the split push from the primal split. Also the fact that you can hit buildings on the high ground. But you look at the side of Reckoning, they recognize this. They're pushing all these lanes out and not letting it push in. They've been watching Blitz videos and they've been putting in the work, shoving the wave.
Coming the wave indeed.
LC, she went for the -10 press the attack cooldown. This game, it's absolutely huge, especially
It
against
is.
heroes like Earth Spirit,
She-
heroes like Rubik.
Yeah.
You know, you
She
can
doesn't
dispel
need
so
the
much
damage.
stuff.
She doesn't
Oh, yeah.
really need the damage. She's got... Heck, Dragon Knight has a deadlist.
And LC is actually doing so well in terms of damage at this moment. Has
Oh, yeah.
148 bonus
enough.
duel damage, and she can go high ground for her team if needed.
If needed. It's nearly a couple of demon edges that she's working with.
Yeah, it's just a casual half rapier worth of damage for the LC. If I want to put it into perspective,
Oh yeah.
LC, I mean, she can also rat if she wants. I mean, the 4 heroes from the side of Reckoning can just go top, while LC hits bottom and just takes all the racks and structures there by herself. But it looks like Reckoning, they don't want to take the chances and they want to take a 5v5 team fight as they smoke
I think
up.
when you play heroes like the LC on the back, wait, hold on. AHD, Shadowblade looks to go away, and they've got the duel. They'll start with the Razor. The Macropie is there. That's got in the Ice Bar, and the cooldown will end up falling. He hasn't got buyback for 106 seconds. The Brewmaster commits his split. He's got Lost Rider buying back. But look at this. The Earth Panda's down. The Storm Panda runs undercover Winwiz. And Reckoning, they got what they were looking for. They might even get themselves a lane of barracks here. Another lane of barracks. You spoke of how the LC can rat. She's already started working on the tier 3 tower. The Storm Panda is the pesky one. They'll deal with it first. Len somehow ends up surviving. Lost Rider goes in with the hook shot, looks towards the Jakiro. Butter Strike, stolen by Animal. Primal Split once again coming out from Len. He looks towards Zafito, but Zafito's got the Sandstorm. LC though, eyes on the prize, wants to work on the tier 3 tower. They've got Chin in the ice path. The question is, can they bring him down? The hook shot, keeping Dot engaged for a bit and allowing Jin to escape. But Reckoning, they're still looking to bring down the tier 3 tower. Animal goes in with the Butter Strike. Dot pops the cheese. He's got the Glimmer Cape to keep himself alive. Drops the call down. The homing missile is there. Len doesn't have the Primal Split for 3 seconds. He wants to pop it. Doesn't get it off. Len will fall. Animal finds the LC with that stolen Butter Strike. But Len, he's going to buy back. He's going to drop that Primal Split again. And Dot and AHD, they've woken up to the fact that, hell, the Brewmaster, broken as a concept, broken as a hero. They got what they could get. They've got to back off.
AST is gonna be okay because he has a TP.
Threat switch, if need be.
Yeah,
for the
he's
mana?
gonna threat switch. He's gonna threat
Clarity.
switch.
Okay.
Gonna be okay. Jin
Brewmaster,
doesn't have
man.
detection though. Yeah, Brewmaster. I think the problem is that the Earth Pandas don't really have... The Pandas don't have armor. And as a result, they end up dropping very quickly to Flak Cannon, the Gyrocopter, and the Dragon Knight right clicks. So maybe the right move from the Council once again is to just split push. Like, You can't take 5v5 team fights into a Dragonite and a Gyrocopter and a Sand King and a Jakiro, especially when your BKBs have fallen so low in the late game. I think that's a death wish and signing your own death contract there. The
Yeah.
only scenario in which you actually manage to win those team fights is where you somehow burst down the Gyrocopter or take out all the control that is the LC and the Sand King
I think what
before
the
the fight
LC's
starts.
got to do as well is duel a support.
Mhm.
I
The
think
Gyrocopter needs to buy back. I think they might lose in melee
range
racks.
barracks down, melee barracks being worked upon. Len, well, does a fair bit of work. Nets walks back in, has the Eye of the Storm, Council, trying to force the issue. They got the Primal Split once more, the Gyrocopter not buying back. The Silent
have
Reckoning, they've
Glyph.
got the Glyph if they want it. Legion tossed into the air, and the Storm Panda. Well, he could do it again, but the Council, they got what they came for. They got themselves another lane of barracks in the Storm Panda. Just chilling in base.
I'm not sure why Reckoning didn't glyph there. I think they should have either glyphed or bought back, but they did neither of those. And now the Council, they just get away with taking a free set of racks.
Yeah.
Reckoning, they did take a successful team fight bottom, but they didn't manage to take the racks. So this is actually so helpful for the Council. Now you can move them towards the top lane. You have all these other lanes pushing in for you. Maybe not the mid lane, because the mid lane is where Reckoning have equalized. But one lane pushing in, one lane where you're going to have to push it out, and another lane where you can group up and have the Earth Panda do its thing. That's great for Council.
Yeah, it was a 15,000 net worth advantage in the favor of Reckoning. It's now slid back to 5,000. And like you mentioned, Reckoning, they're missing their bottom racks, while Council, they've still got their standing. I could see scope for better itemization coming out from Jin. I honestly think building the Earth Blade to keep cores alive from all that physical damage would offer his side a lot more utility in these fights, but he's going for the Dagon.
I mean,
I don't mind the Dagon, but maybe Earth Blade first, just to keep friends and family alive.
He is going for it now. I'm sorry I'm laughing at this, but this is just classic Council, man. They just buy all these late game items. They don't care. It's almost like they're playing a pub game and like they're playing 5v5 lobby in your local cyber cafe, and they just want to have a good time. Well, the good thing about the Dagon is that they can burst down all these low HP heroes on the side of Reckoning, which is, at the moment, if low HP is a term, I mean, against a 1.8k
Do
HP
you
hero.
also think Dot should have gone for this Ag Scepter? I think at this stage in the game,
no,
the Ags is incorrect.
Yep.
Maybe a Butterfly, maybe the Satanic, not the Ags.
Yeah, you
Not
probably
the
want the
Ags for sure.
Butterfly or the AC. Hell, in fact, if you want to survive against a
I
Razor,
would say Satanic.
Yes, Satanic was not too bad. Butterfly is not too bad. I think Butterfly is slightly better because you force MKBs out of Council.
The Axe is not the item he needs, but I think the plan is Dot is thinking that, hey, if I've got that side gunner, I can maybe bring down the Brewlings quickly.
Maybe that's the ideology he's working with here. But still, I think a Butterfly is so much better.
ASD got out.
He's a tanky Dragon Knight.
He is, but Lost Riders here has the hook shot. Who did he find? He's found the Legion Commander. Legion Commander does have a Lotus Hub, but he's isolated by his team. From his team now, then ASD pops his BKB, looks towards Deaths at Floki. Just look at the damage onto the Razor. Deaths pops his BKB, but ASD doesn't give a damn. The Halberd coming out from someone, but press the attack as well as the Lotus Hub, buying himself a little bit of time and space. Animal survives courtesy that stolen Burst Strike, but the Flak Cannon will bring him down. Dot finds himself a double kill. They're looking towards the Earth Panda. Len looking to run, knows that his Primal Split is coming to an end, wants to be able to blink for God's sake, but with his brother Jin, they look to turn the Boulder Smash onto the Magnetizes there as well. Dot pops his BKB, stays alive, and now Zafito goes back in with a Burst Strike. Len with the on this gets his other Primal Split off and immediately will Cyclone the Dragon Knight, will look towards the Jakiro. Both Dragons up in the air, another rolling boulder, they'll find the Legion Commander and another Cyclone to control ASD as they burst down the Jakiro. ASD all by himself, surrounded by 3 Brewlings, an Earth Spirit and a Rubik, might end up falling, but Zafito's here with the Burst Strike. They might look to turn, they've got the call down as well. Len, he's got the Primal Split once again off cooldown. And this is going to only get worse for the side of the Council. ASD has no mana at all. He's going to be run down by these Brewlings. He's been silenced by the Geomagnetic Grip. He's looking at EP. Have they got the damage? No. Zafito will manage to escape. Not really sure. Okay, wait. So if you use Yules on an enemy, it does a little bit of damage, right?
Yep,
So
it
you
does.
can't blink away, but the Storm Panda Yules apparently doesn't do
Yeah,
damage.
it doesn't do any damage. It only holds enemies up in the air, so you can still blink out, but you have to be facing the direction in which you're blinking. Otherwise, the turn rate might come into effect, and also the fact that the Brewmaster has a Radiance that can cancel your blink is going to come into effect. Ideally, just face the direction you want to be blinking in and shift Q your blink. That's the easiest way to get it off.
Okay.
Well, for now, Reckoning they do lose a few heroes, but
They
they
bought
have the...
back as well. Who did they buy back on?
I
No,
think
so
they
Animal and
bought
Jin
back.
bought back on the side of the council.
Yeah, that's the only buybacks that were expended in
ASD
those
got away.
fights.
Dot didn't end up dying. So not too bad for Reckoning.
Oh yeah, and ASC is actually gonna finish up his Heart of Terras soon, and with this heart, I'm not sure how you kill this Dragon Knight. It is
Uh,
so hard to take down this Dragon Knight at this point in the game. He went for the 2x Dragon Blood, HP, Reason, and Armor, so he has a bunch of armor. He also has a lot of HP. He's gonna have
Um,
even more HP with the heart. I think it's gonna be close to 5k HP, and if you look at the lineup of the council, I mean,
Okay.
apart from Razor, nobody else deals damage.
So the
And
council just smoked. I mean, didn't smoke. And they walked into the pit under vision of a dire observer board. And Reckoning will look to fight. Lost Rider goes in with the hookshot, has the cogs. Not sure what is stolen by Animal. It is the Elder Dragon form. And he's going to try and chip away. Cosplaying as the Dragon Knight. ASD is going to deal with the cogs. Looks towards the Storm Panda, but he's been tossed up in the air. The Ice Path though, this is exactly what they need. They need to deal with Len and the Storm Panda. He's got the invis, looks to run. A quick hex coming out on the Sand King. There's a duel onto the Razor Deaths. He's going to end up falling for a good 90 seconds. Now they got the call down. They've got the Ice Path. Len, his Aeon Disc will trigger. He needs 2 seconds on the Primal Split. The Bono Strike will whiff, and Len once again splits into 3 and looks to delay Reckoning from closing this game. He's got the Storm Panda running off on its own mission. They'll deal with the Earth and Fire Panda. They'll look towards Animal, but Animal with that Blink Tagger will get away. Once again, Reckoning only find themselves dead on the Razor and nothing else. They need a Hex for Len, or they need an Orchid. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. You just need damage if you're the side. Oh, Jin, is he gonna
Jin
go in?
goes in with the Rolling Boulder. He's got it. The strike click. He's done it. He snatched the Aegis. The council still fighting, still holding on. He's got Len to back him up with the Primal Split. They'll try and control one. It is ASD, but I don't think they have the damage. The Storm Panda caught in the Ice Path. Lost Rider is here with the hookshot. They'll bring down the LC. They'll look towards ASD. He's not got the Elder Dragon form. He's sitting on a lot of unreliable gold, which is meant for his heart, and he's looking to run. Another Primal Split coming out from Len, and Dot, if he hasn't got his BKB, has got to get himself out of there. The hookshot, fortunately missing for Dot, but the Jakiro will be caught out as Len gets himself a double kill.
LC doesn't have buyback. This might just be top racks and mega creeps with the council.
Oh yeah. And if the Storm Panda goes ahead and catches one, that,
Oh boy.
that could just be a huge disaster for the side of Reckoning.
I mean, that was such a big Aegis steal coming in from Jin.
Absolutely.
They still have the Refresher Shot to work with for Reckoning, so you have double macro fire to hold off the creeps, but I'm not sure how good that is, especially when you have the bottom lane of creep pushing.
I don't know. The refresher shot was on Dot. But look at this. If you got the Storm Panda doing this, fortunately for Dot, he's got that side gunner, and the side gunner was attacking the Storm Panda. They'll take the tier 3 tower. ASD is still alive. And look at this. Look, he's got himself the Orchid. This is exactly what he needed to make.
Oh yeah. Has the Orchid now, so his damage is going to be amplified even further. He's queuing up the Bloodthorn, and he might want to sell off the Daedalus. If that is the case, maybe get something like a Mjolnir to really capitalize on the Bloodthorn's active. Daedalus and Bloodthorn crits don't really stack, so that is something that you might want to think about if you're ASD. But yeah, you do deal a lot of damage in these team fights now. This Dragon Knight is going to be hitting super hard.
Yep.
So, Brewmaster, he's going to have a tough time surviving with his Brewlings. Razor, he's been having a tough time anyway, and he's building himself an Aeon Disc of all items. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not going to write it off though, because Aeon Disc is a really good item in the late game, especially. Prevents you from getting bursted down. But I'm not sure if it's the item that Dets needs, because even if he does get dueled, the duel has a long duration, lasts for 5.5 seconds, and once the duel is over, he's still going to be having to deal with the Dragon Knight, the Gyrocopter's damage, and in that case, a Shiva's is probably better, or something like an Assault is probably better.
Well,
ASD.
you wanted Len to rat. He sent in 2 Brewlings up top.
Oh yeah.
But he can't force through backdoor regen.
Mhm. Well, I think this is the point where where you probably get yourself an assault if you're Len. I think the aura from the assault cuirass carries over, gives your Brewlings a bit more attack speed, even though the basic assault cuirass element does not. I mean, the non-aura part gives you 20 attack speed if I'm correct, and the aura part gives you 30 attack speed, so can have 30 attack speed to work with, and deal with the Raxes a bit faster, if he so desires. No, never mind, it is 25 attack speed. I was wrong about that.
Mhm.
So, Reckoning, at this point in the game, they realize 2 things. First, they have a lot of damage, so damage output is not a problem in these fights. The problem is going to be controlling the Brewmaster and finding him as soon as his Primal Split ends.
Yeah.
In that regard, the Orchid is great, but Len has Aeon Disc, so he can dispel the Orchid, especially if he goes in with the Primal Split. If he just blinks in, he might just pop his Aeon Disc before his Primal Split. That's not what you ideally want. You want the Aeon Disc to go off after the Primal Split so you can get a second one off. And that's when things start really turning around for
So
you if
the
you're the council.
cooldown between each primal split is around 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
only window of opportunity he needs. And
it's
yeah,
6.25 seconds,
what?
precisely.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It-
every 6 seconds you're gonna have a primal split up. If you add the fact that there's a 0.8 or 1 second
What's the cooldown
cast
on
delay,
A on this?
it's 67 seconds. 67.5.
How long does primal split last?
26 seconds.
Okay.
No, wait, 20 seconds, 20 seconds.
Okay. Fortunately, there is a window to kill this hero.
Yep, there is one, but that window is, well, it's gonna be hard to exploit if your Jakiro and your LC die out, because then you're relying on really the Sand King and the Dragon Knight.
So what they've got to do is duel the Brewmaster. That's going to help trigger his Aeon Disc. And probably towards the end of the duel, use the Orchid, use the Dragon Tail, and that's when you bring him down.
Well, Dot has had enough for sure. He's picked up the rapier for himself. He's gonna keep the boots in his backpack.
Has he?
This rapier could backfire. You have the blade mail on the razor. You have the blade mail on the clockwork.
Yeah.
It could be this. It could be super risky.
And there's a side gunner that's doing damage even if you don't want to.
BKBs are
looking for
popped.
the
Spells are getting
duel.
cast.
World Fab will not find it. That's his BKB is pairing off, and both teams they'll have a meet and greet in the mid lane, but nobody finds too much out of it.
Oh yeah, I mean all BKBs except for the Gyrocopter were popped in that fight. Never mind.
I
Wait,
don't know if
I heard
Dots
multiple
is-
BKBs. So it was the BKB onto the LC.
LC and Razor.
Razor. You were saying?
I don't know if Dots' Divine Rapier was spotted out.
I think it probably was. or
Nah,
not.
we definitely see pings, or definitely see some sort of a response plan from the council. They've got the Halberd on Lost Rider, which is going to be key. And the thing, what I'm worried about for Dot is, the Divine Rapier restricts how you play a fight, right? So he can only come into the fight after Lost Rider gets going with his first hook shot. And even then he might not be safe.
Oh yeah.
He's got to be very careful as to when he chooses to participate in this fight. He's also got to ensure that, he's got buyback. I mean, nearly everyone's got buyback. It's only Deaths as well as the Jakiro who are missing buyback in the entire server. So yeah, he's got to be careful as to when he participates in fights with that Divine Rapier. You got that side gunner just doing his own thing in doing a little bit of side
Every
damage here and
1.1
there.
seconds, gotta have that extra pop.
Yeah.
Dot, you probably want to pair it up with a Satanic at this point.
Yeah, the
Maybe you
axe
replace
seems
the
like a-
BKB once it gets
So he
used.
got the axe at around 58 minutes. What has it achieved for him?
Not much in all honesty. Could
Honest.
replace the Axe Scepter. Could probably also replace the BKB once it has been used.
Yeah.
Would
You
be
should
more
probably
slot
look
efficient.
towards a butterfly or a satanic. He
Oh.
blinks while he's found Lost Rider. This is huge. If they bring down the clockwork, it's huge. Animal steals the dragon tail, the clockwork being focused, but there's another hex. They've caught Wolfab. Bringing down the LC without his duel is significant for the side of the council, but Wolfab will pop his BKB and look to run. Jakiro caught in the cogs, being run down by Lost Rider. Lost Rider looks to bring him down, but there's that Aeon Disc getting triggered, and that's the Burst Strike will whiff. Elsewhere, Flamey does end up falling to the Clockwork. Lost Rider, he's done his bit. He's found his support. That's 114 seconds without the Jakiro, and now they're chasing the Clockwork. Who's got the cogs, hash time, has the hook shot, will manage to escape. Another Primal Split. The Head Plate, the Dagon, they look towards the LC. Animal with the Fate Bolt, setting up for Jin to come in with the Rolling Bolt and file the LC. Primal Split, what's it really doing here? They have got one Nullifier being thrown out. It is the Gyrocopter, and he's got the Divine Rapier. Jin finds the Gyrocopter, brings him down, and Dot has no choice but to buy back. Floki, I think this game might be all but over for the side of Reckoning as ESD falls on the Dragon Knight. The Sand King control brought down by Jada the Earth Spirit. With that dig into that plane and Council, they can march down the lane, force out buybacks. You've already got Len moving bottom. He's got another Primal Split. And Reckoning, they've got to force out buybacks, or they've got to pop the Glyph for this top lane of Barracks.
What am I seeing? What is happening in this game?
The
Why
Jin
does
show.
Jin have Rapier? Oh my god, I have so many questions at the moment. That
Absolutely.
was such a weird fight. Gyrocopter now doesn't have a Rapier. Already uses buyback, so he's not gonna be having a good time. Jin can now actually start going in and hitting the racks for all intents and purposes. But he doesn't have a BKB, so that is gonna be a bit of an issue. A Brewmaster, where's he TPing to? Okay, he's TPing back to his creep.
Back into the lane, and Lost Rider hooked the wave. That's okay, he's got his axe.
So I want to
But
point out that last fight, Lost Rider didn't end up dying because he had the Halberd, and there's the evasion coming in from the Halberd, also the Radiance, which kept him alive there. He was evading most of the attacks.
think
He doesn't really have a lot of armor.
Lost Rider is going back in, and he's gonna make Dot feel mighty unsure of himself. They've got the Cyclone onto the Legion Commander. That's with the Eye of the Storm, will bring down the range barracks. He's still got the Eye of the Storm. The Glyph is buying time for Reckoning, but the Earth Panda, or rather the Storm Panda, just controlling that Gyrocopter, allowing Deaths to do his thing. There's a duel onto the Razor, but he's got the Aeon Disc, and he won't be copying too much damage from that duel. But here comes Dot. He's got the Flak Handle that bring down Deaths. They'll force back the side of the Council. The Primal Split, well, it is to time off. They look towards Lost Rider, who gets caught out. Unusual if him is Zafito. Chasing for more, sees the Storm Panda. It is the only Panda that Len's got to work with, and this is when they need a stun. This is when they need a silence. They got a Hex on Zafito, but he's not going to be able to get it off. It's on cooldown for a good 7 seconds, and without any real control, Len can still look to fight and turn this fight around. The Fire Panda looking to run. They deal with the Earth Panda first. They've got the homing missile. They're trying to bring down Len, and finally, after a good 15 primal splits, Len will die.
I mean, the creeps are still pushing in. They managed to take the tier 4 tower all by themselves. So at the end of the day, Reckoning Esports, they do manage to shove out the Council from the base, but they still end up losing a structure, and that's a tier 4 tower.
And they haven't got the Aegis yet.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they haven't got the Divine Rapier. Jin has the Divine Rapier.
I mean, Jin, knowing the Council, he might just go in, backdoor, and take the racks down all by himself. He can just build a Mask of Madness and start hitting away at the tower. Sell off his Shadow Blade, swap out his Scythe of Ice, and then even if he drops the Rapier and has a buyback, well, he's gonna be in an okay spot, the Council.
So, the fight where Dot dropped his Rapier, I think a key factor for Reckoning in these fights is what the Legion Commander is doing. The Clockwork is just doing so much more for his side in these fights. I think World Fav, or World Favorite, didn't even get a single duel off in that previous engagement, the engagement where Dot lost his Rapier.
Oh yeah.
He just ended up falling without really doing too much, and if you're the LC, I don't know, you should at least try and kill his support.
Oh yeah, I mean, but LC has to jump in first with the BKB. Problem is, LC doesn't really have vision in these fights. You want someone like, maybe you probably want to have the Clockwork at your side at this point in the game to give you the vision to jump in with a Blink Dagger, find the duel on the supports like the Earth Spirit, the Rubik, maybe even the Clockwork. But you don't have the vision coming in, so it's hard for you to blink in. When there's a Brewmaster with a Radiance running in at you, you need to have your BKB preemptively popped so the blink doesn't get cancelled. Apart from that, you also need to make sure that the Razor's Plasma Field doesn't hit you, because if it does, that's longer range than the Radiance, and you're not going to be able to get your blink off. So lots of things working against World Fabric.
There are a lot of conditions for any offlaner in a team fight, but
I think the conditions are really stacked against this LC though, and they all come down to one simple thing: pop your BKB before the fight starts, and then jump in onto someone, get a duel off. I think that's the ideal LC move towards at this point in the game, because you're not going to be able to find a duel on the backlines or once some spells are on cooldown, because the Primal Split is going to come in every now and again. Radiance is always going to be up. Also, the fact that Jhin is probably going to go on you with Magnetize is not going to help your case. So you just want to jump in first, find the Earth Spirit or find the Rubik and bring him down, make this fight a 4v5, and
Yeah.
then with your high damage, you can look to take structures, or if you're in a good spot to right click, you can right click heroes down.
Yeah.
Problem is that Reckoning, they are working up against 3 lanes of super creeps. Top lane, they only one melee racks away from mega creeps.
Yep.
The council, what they can look to do at this
That-
moment is that they
They've
can
gotta
send
go.
4 heroes top and have someone come in from the back line, sort of
Yeah.
take this fight. Can you see my drawing on the map? Can you see the graffiti I'm
Yeah,
making?
yeah.
So they start taking the fight in this direction. Someone comes in from the mid lane, goes like this, or like this, and ends up taking the racks here. Or the
Okay.
tier 4 tower and the game, if it's
Yeah,
Jhin with the Mask of
it's.
Madness.
I mean, this is a very
Optimistic
easy.
scenario?
No, it's incredibly easy. Any well-coordinated team should be able to pull that off. I think
Yeah,
with the primal split and whatnot, it just becomes all that more easier. I think what
I
Reckoning
think.
have got is cheese, the refresher shard, and the
Mhm.
ages, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I just want to point out one thing.
Wait, who has the? Okay, the gyrocopter's got the ages. Yeah. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
the Razor, he went for the worst talent in the game, the worst level 25 talent, the minus 3 second unstable current interval. You're not surviving these team fights, so you're not gonna be able to get it off. Just get the attack speed and try and take down buildings, or maybe do some work while you're still alive and
I
static
think he's
him.
itemized to survive the team fight. Though on the back line, they've got Dot going in. Dot didn't get his BKB off, but he'll still get Animal. This is huge. They've got the duel onto one. They're trying to bring him down. It is the Razor, but Razor still ends up standing. Has the Eye of the Storm, will bring down the LC and will look to turn and run away. LC down, Rubik buying back. ASD running around in his Shadow Blade. Dot in the midst of the fight looks towards Len, but Len with the drunken haste turns towards Dot. They've got the Spirit Vessel on the Gyrocopter, and Dot, he might end up losing his ages, but Zafito comes in. The epicenter is there along with the bonus strike. Jin has got to be careful on the Earth Spirit. He's holding on to the Divine Rapier. Animal comes back, ends up dying. That's his buyback. Heckish dieback on the Rubik.
creeps up
And
with-
Lost Rider goes in. He's found Zafito with that hook shot. They're going to go in with the rolling bolter. They will not find... Oh, they will find the Sand King. The Hex coming in at the very end from Jin, securing that kill for the side of the Council. And without the Sand King and the Legion Commander, boy, have this Dragon Knight as well as the Gyrocopter got their work cut out for them. Any one of them getting sent up into the air is probably a recipe for disaster. Lost Rider though, just moving a bit too far front, doesn't respect the Bloodthorn, ends up falling. The Brewlings are dying as well. Jin should be careful, he's got the Divine Rapier, but he gets caught in the ice path. They need a core pounding away on the Sword Spirit, but on the back lines, that's his year. He's got the Eye of the Storm, he's dropping low, he wants the barracks, he's going to force out the BKB on AHD, he'll take away the Aegis on the Gyrocopter, and Dot drops the call down. This time, finally, Floki, they've got control for the pounder. They'll bring down Len.
Rapier.
Fortunately, he's got buyback, but ASD caught in the cogs with the Spirit Vessel might just end up falling. Lost Rider, well, they're going to lose the Divine Rapier. Jin did end up falling, but with that hook shot and a dig in on the Brewmaster, they'll find themselves a Gyrocopter. And now ASD, all by himself, all by his lonesome, standing next to his Ancient, will get control and will end up falling. Jin taking away his dominating streak, and that Gyrocopter running around with an entire Radiant Fleet Wave pushing in will fall as well. The Council, they find themselves victory in a long, excruciating 79-minute game. And I don't want to say anyone cheesed anyone. Both teams played some phenomenal Dota, absolutely deserving to drag it on until this late game.
Oh yeah. I mean, this game was absolutely insane. 70 minutes in, Rapiers hitting the deck, Jhin going for an Blade and Dagon and a Nullifier of all items. He's essentially role-playing as a mid laner or as a carry, in fact.
Oh yeah.
Jhin has the most net worth in this game on his Earth Spirit. He has 40k net worth. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no clue what to say. Just a big, messy game by both sides. Reckoning, they made a few mistakes in the decision making. That's what they should probably look to take. I think the part where the bottom barracks was being sieged, they didn't pop the glyph, nor did they buy back. That's probably something they should look to correct next time they
Yep.
play.
Anyway, folks,
And
I think that's
yeah,
about it.
that's
We're
it.
going to wrap it up. It's running late in the studio as well. I'm going to toss it over to the analyst panel. Angela and Vagish, it's all yours.
It's over.
Oh, this game has ended?
Yes.
This game has ended, really?
Mm-hmm.
What year is it?
It's 2018. 1
still
hour,
2018?
20 minutes.
I have
and,
what?
The council have made their decision and they have won this game. I do not know how to break this down.
Don't break this
because
game. Don't
after
break this game.
I can
The game has broken us.
all that I can say that commendable on Jin. Exceptionally great performance. I mean, on the Earth Spirit, he was amazing. I could only break this game down to about 30 minutes in. After that, it was just like a
Everything.
table tennis game. Like
Yeah.
the ball just kept going in each other's court.
But kudos for the
Lovely.
Earth Spirit getting a divine rapier. Unseen.
Yeah, and it was a good pickup. I mean, somebody needs to do it, and he decided that I'll be the one. And it worked out for them. If we're just talking about the basic game, because after 30 minutes in, I really stopped counting on what is going to happen. Rotations from both the team, early game on point, great going by them. Gyro was sent in the mid lane, while DK was sent on top lane. Worked fairly well for Reckoning Infinity, but at the same time, it comes down to think that do all games have to go on for so long, because they are drafting for a very late game stage. DK and Gyro in the same team means your game is going to go on for 45 minutes, and this went on 1 hour 20 minutes, and this is not the first time I've seen games like this. It's a constant thing. If you do not finish a game in the first 30 minutes, it is going to go on for 1 hour 20 minutes. And there was a good goal lead by Reckoning Infinity in between, then the council taking over completely. But at a point at
40k
the
net
end,
worth for
40K,
Earth Spirit, followed by
exactly.
That Brewmaster was a sly git hug.
Yeah, and they all played exceptionally well. I mean, I cannot say anything bad about any player because they all played on point and they fought till the very last rack fell. And that kind of just shows how dedicated these players are.
Yeah,
to
and
the game.
ultimately Reckoning had to yield. They had to literally GG.
But
Down on
I'm
knees.
glad that council, even though their draft was more of the early stage, at the end of the day, 1 hour 20 minutes in, they took the game. Otherwise, a game where you have a Gyro and a DK with a Legion commander, the chances of you taking a game as a Rubik, Raze, and Brewmaster is very less.
But
they
Angie,
played the other ways.
don't you think it was weird that after such a long game, LC could not generate enough,
I mean, that would
dual
just
damage?
that would just be a player problem. As
Yeah,
a hero
it definitely
itself,
seemed like a
the
player
hero would
problem.
have scaled to a very massive extent.
Yeah, I mean, a 1 hour plus game and LC still having like 200 damage is like unheard of. Like, I actually thought, okay, she must have amassed like some great amount of like
It
dual
happens.
damage.
It happens. And
Turns out she
now
had
as you
not.
talk about it, I mean, LC could have fed off the only two players, that is a Rubik and an ES. And if
That's it.
The Earth Spirit itself had a Divine Rapier, who would she feed off? So that's how it goes, and that's an end of Dota 2 today. Yeah, good game.
Alrighty then, Angie, closing it up very nicely for us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back again tomorrow with more CR, CSGO, and Dota 2. This is what we have for you guys today. Cheers. Remember, before you go, press that subscribe button, press the bell icon button, and also remember, all of this has been brought to you by Omen, by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and presented to you by Nordwind Gaming. So, Angie, are we all set for tomorrow?
Yes, we are. We're good
Yeah.
to go. Yep.
And for today, like I said, this is all we have. Cheers.